Ronald L. Fischer, former anesthesiologist, spent 21 years on the water before he was finally caught on July 16th, 2026, at 70 years old. I'm Holly.
I'm Jules.
And welcome to Born Brazen. Today, we're going to talk a little different, not so much doing a documentary, but more of a story that really caught our attention. And we're just going to call this episode The Master Yachtsman, because this is what this individual was called. He was on the run for 21 years. So as we said, Ronald was a former anesthesiologist, looked like he had a really bright future ahead of him, had a wife and kids and all of that. And in 2005, he caught a charge for sexual assault, first-degree sexual assault.
Yep.
This happened in Rhode Island, and that was actually not his first time that he was charged with sexual assault.
He had some other issues. I read about some of those a little bit.
Yeah.
He was also known as, I just found it funny, as the Lion King.
Yes.
One of his nicknames was the Lion King.
Because that was his boat that he was caught on one of the times with sexual assault, was the Lion King. You know?
He clearly felt highly of himself, I feel like.
Yes.
So
as he has this charge in 2005, and he is going to court to get, charged with all of this and have a trial and what have you. And Cheryl Gingrich was the victim for this particular event that he went on the run for. And she actually did a couple of interviews after he was caught that she could actually breathe.
Yeah, it felt nice as I was investigating this to see some of her interviews and just see her finally, that feeling of finally, because the one interview that I saw, I just felt really bad for her because she's just, everything that he put her through, the whole ordeal in itself, then the court stuff not happening, then him going on the run. I can't imagine living that life as a victim. Not knowing where he's at.
Yeah.
Is he going to come after me again one day because he's that upset with me? Because I took him to court.
Right.
Just the sigh of relief this woman probably felt, Miss Cheryl.
And her family as well. Her son did a interview that was so glad my mom can get some peace now. Because the sexual assault happened in 2003.
Yeah.
And they didn't go to court until 2005.
Yeah. And then him not being found until July 16th. That's what landed him and why we all heard about this. He was, what number on was he number one? No, he wasn't number one.
No, I don't think
but he was on the top 10, most wanted list.
Yes.
So once he was found, that's probably the biggest reason that we even heard about this case.
Correct.
Already. Anyway.
So some resources that we used was CBSnews.com, Fox News, and People is where we got our information from. So the court ended up finding him guilty.
Yep.
Without him even being present.
Absentia.
Yes. Without being present at the trial. He also got failure to appear and flight. So because he left out of the country. And the craziest thing, when he's going over all of this and he's getting ready to be, sentenced or determine whether he's guilty or not guilty, he decides that I'm going to go on a run, but I'm not going to run. I'm going to boat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, as the master yachtsman that he was.
The master yachtsman.
I feel was that not on their radar? That potentially he could be he could be a runner?
Yeah.
A boater?
So interesting that you say that. He actually wrote a letter to his attorney.
Yeah.
Prior to running.
Insane.
And
it's insane, his thought process.
I'm going to go ahead and read this letter just so you can get an idea of the privilege that this man felt. Although I believe my trial has gone very well and expect to be acquitted and dismissed, the small chance of losing could carry extremely and acceptably harsh punishments or harsh penalties. I have therefore decided not to take the risk and leave the U.S. Here's a good one. And enjoy life in another country where I have long been carefully planning and
planning a good,
safe, secure, and comfortable life.
What a dirtbag.
So you're going to plan this good, safe, secure, and comfortable life. Meanwhile, you have assaulted not one, not two, but multiple women. And you think you deserve the right to live a comfortable life.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. That's not even remotely how that is supposed to go.
No, you don't get to do whatever you want. And then, oh, well,
yeah,
let me just leave now and go
that's fine.
Do what I want elsewhere. Maybe I'll do that over there.
And he was an anesthesiologist, right? So they made good money.
Yeah.
They made good money. So he had the funds to get up and leave. He told his attorney that. He also told his daughters that he was leaving as well. And like Julie said, why was this not flagged? Why was he even able to get on the Silver Lining, which was what his boat was called, which I find that slightly coincidental that he named his boat the Silver Lining.
Yeah.
But why was he even able to do that is beyond me.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beyond me. He was listed on the America's Most Wanted. So John Walsh did an episode on this guy, which is crazy. It took, after they had a tip that came through about where he was, it took 48 hours for them to zone in on them.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Like, incredible.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, he could have, if he made it this long, he could have continued on.
Yes. 100%. And they called in the big dogs. They called in Rhode Island Violent Fugitive Force, Task Force, the Coast Guard, the FBI, the state police, and the U.S. Marshals.
And can I just say, like, I'm kind of impressed a little bit by the fact that he even was on, just side note, that he was on America's Most Wanted list for something like assault. He didn't murder someone. He didn't attempted murder. I mean, name it how you want to name all these things. But typically in my head, my brain goes to like murderers being on America's Most Wanted list. So the fact that they were willing to go through all of what you just said, all these people, to put the time and effort in for something like an assault. Because how many times do you feel like cases go unsolved and then just sit and no one's working on it anymore? No one's doing anything anymore. I kind of like maybe want to look into some details on that a little bit more, like why somebody like him ends up there. But, you know, like all these missing person cases and people that just disappear, like why don't we feel like they get this attention and the fact that there's a list? Like, I feel like
what their criteria is.
Yeah.
And not to say like sexual assault is any worse.
Oh, yeah. I'm not trying to say that he didn't need to be on there.
But it's also, I want to say ironic, or however you may put it, is that He was charged with and convicted of first-degree sexual assault. And how many women come up and say that they, they're a victim of sexual assault, and the cops do he said, she said. And I believe they found DNA on Cheryl, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I think so. But none of this happens. So I'm also curious as to maybe he was a high profile victim or perpetrator. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because the fact that with him, well, I guess technically him leaving probably led them to believe, where my brain would go is that, well, if you were willing to run, you clearly did something. So you're kind of proving your guilt even more. Because, just where you're going with what you were saying about the he said, she said, like, how many times does that crap happen and like they won't even take it to court? Or the fact that he left and they still like, no, we're going to give him a trial and we're going to.
Yeah. Why does it happen more often?
Yeah. Like so many other times it's the complete opposite. Like, oh, we don't have enough to convict, or, well, he ran. So sorry if we find him again, but they don't continue on with the trial.
So, so this 56, which mind you, a 56-foot sailboat is massive.
Yeah.
How do you miss that?
Yeah.
Also, how are you in the ocean for that?
Yeah, you've got to have somebody helping you. You've got to have supplies, or he had somewhere to go and park and get what he needed, come get back on the boat. But we've had boats, you've had boats, not out in the ocean, but even certain places, like the Coast Guard is aware of these things. Like, no one ever saw his boat and was like, no Coast Guard was ever, who does that belong to? Or who do you think that, or let's just, we've had security checks on a boat on the lake of like them driving by and stopping, and because they're allowed to, and saying, I want your IDs. I want to make sure you have all the safety equipment you're supposed to have on here. Like, check, like run through all these things. So like, not even once somebody wasn't like, oh, I wonder who owns that 56-foot sailboat.
But I guess the ocean is so vast.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be like a,
but to
wrong place, wrong time.
I feel like you're so far out there. I'd be too scared to be, the ocean scares me just a little bit.
As we live right next to the ocean.
And on purpose, because we just moved here.
Yeah. So he was registered. He had many of aliases, many. But when they found him, he was registered under Richard Graydon. And he was the longest running fugitive investigation in the Rhode Island Police Department.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he was caught on the New York, New Jersey coast is where he was caught.
An hour. I had read an hour offshore of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So,
the longest running fugitive. Something that I think is more fascinating, that I would say, like when they caught him, I don't know, if you go look up his mugshot, and maybe can probably find a picture that we'll post here, was smiling in his mugshot. Like, I looked at it and he wasn't like,
I kind of feel like maybe he was over it, and like maybe part of him wanted to be caught, or was like okay with it at this point.
Well, when he was arrested, he was arrested without incident. Like, they just, you got me.
He was probably just like, oh,
about time.
Took longer than I thought.
About time to roll out there.
Yeah. Let's roll on out.
So again, the most fascinating thing I think with me is so we were talking about, how do he get resources, right? How is he living? He navigated over to California, and he was a biotech executive for MX Biopharma. So he was making bank money as a fugitive under an alias. A freaking biotech executive. That is insane.
You can't tell me a job like that, they don't background check and stuff your people. Did they not find it odd that he had to have had everything figured out? Or in my head, I'd be like checking his stuff to hire him and be like, oh, that's weird. There's like no record of you.
But especially in a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. Like there had to have been some red flags of credit history and stuff like that. Like they talk about that in documentaries all the time.
Yeah.
Like, because essentially it would look like he's off the grid if he like just started existing at a certain time. Like it would look weird.
Correct.
And it's weird that no one figured that out and he got a paycheck.
Yeah. And I would assume it was, well, I don't know. So I'd have to look that up. But I was going to say maybe it was cash, right? Because
it could have been. Or, I mean, maybe he knew somebody in the company.
Yeah.
And they were helping him. I mean, he could have had somebody that was like willing to just kind of, you know,
and
he knew people.
I mean, anesthesiologist to a biotech executive is a pretty big jump, I guess I would say. However,
but clearly, I mean, if you know your shit to be an anesthesiologist, you got to know your drugs and all that stuff. So
yeah. And he may have had, so his last, the last sexual assault that he was convicted of was in 1996. And he had 2 felony counts of assault and battery and forced his date to have sex on a boat, which was a lane. So he lost after he was pled guilty and was convicted of that. He lost his practice license for both Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So I'm assuming when that happened, maybe he, started planning, this.
Putting a new life together.
Yeah.
So he could still do something, because losing your own practice at that point.
Yeah.
You're kind of screwed from making those big bucks.
Yeah. But it's crazy if he did do that, because this next case didn't do it until 2003. So you're a repeat offender, clearly. So I don't know, maybe that's why he was on the big radar list, because he was such a repeat offender.
Maybe I'm sure that probably added to it, I guess.
Yeah. And I couldn't find much. This made news more of he was 70 years old and fled for 21 years and got caught.
Yeah.
But I didn't find a whole lot of background on, they said more women came forward and said he sexually assaulted me too. So I wonder if, there was more in it than they advertised, I guess you could say.
Probably for them to feel as gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
There had to have been all that behind the scenes things going on that they all knew about, and they were like, we got to get him. We just got to get him.
Yeah. And I know when they searched his boat, they found a whole bunch of stuff. Books on how to evade law enforcement. They had an onion router, which is a router that hides your IP addresses, so nobody can track you to one location, what computer that you're using. And also found out that his family, through emails, actually helped him evade.
Crazy.
So they knew what was going on. And they're like, yeah, let me help you. Let me send you supplies. Let me do this. Let me do that. It's like,
yeah, no.
I love my family. I love my kids. But I'm not going to help you.
No, when you do something wrong. Nope.
Excuse me, guys. I'm not going to help you evade police.
No.
It's not going to happen. Especially for sexual assault. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Don't be silly. Control yourself.
Don't be silly.
Yeah.
Watch your willy.
Watch your willy. Keep your willy to yourself. So yeah, that's kind of all I could, really find on this particular one. without diving like super, super deep into the weeds, we just kind of wanted to give, I know everybody's been hearing about this. So
Yeah.
kind of wanted to give just a little fun background as to, this guy got arrested, but what happened to make him flee or what have you. So yeah, he was notated as the master yachtsman, as we said before. And that was his downfall. I think with his job, his knowledge, and the way that he has not really gotten away with anything, but able to leave and possibly have other victims he got away with. I think he felt some sort of privilege and some sort of, I can get away with this and nobody's ever going to find me.
Yep.
And that was the biggest thing that he probably shot himself in the foot with. But like you said, it could have been because he sailed off the coast of California for a really long time. So he could have just been like, look, I'm 70. I'm just about done.
Yeah. Well, and you never know, too, if maybe he was feeling that age and having things wrong with him. Yeah. And now the ability for him to feel like he has the ability to like get care or see a doctor or, because 20 years without seeing a doctor, I mean, that would mean, you had aliases and things, and you had this job, but
yeah,
showing up at a hospital or going to a doctor, he had to really probably think twice about before doing everything that he did.
Yeah.
So
to wrap all this up, he was remanded. He did waive extradition. So like I said, he went without a fight. He was just like, yep,
here I am.
Here I am. Go ahead and cuff me. Let's get this over with. So I do not remember. I'm not sure how many years he got sentenced for those, but I'm just going to say a life sentence because he's not getting out before he dies.
No, at this point, no.
No, not at 70 years old, which is insane because
he got to live his life.
Correct. Had he just went to court and did all of that on the prior one, he probably would have spent some years, but as we all know, the justice system is asinine when it comes to sentencing. He may have gotten like a few years and then was able to live his life. And I think he was trying to save his reputation, but that ended up going out the window as well. So,
save it, but save your reputation for what? It's like on the run.
Correct. You don't have a reputation.
Yeah. Like you have to be so hermit that it's like you still lost your life essentially.
And I wonder, I'm also curious, and you guys tell me what you think. After he created this new alias and started working at the biotech company, I wonder if he assaulted women then as well.
Yeah.
But they can't find him because he was under an alias. So
yeah. But if he did and left DNA, his DNA is going to be the same as that first case.
Correct.
So, or the one that he was convicted on. So they might have, maybe that happened and we just don't know. And maybe that's what prompted hey, the same guy, we found the same DNA.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. So if you guys know, let us know in the comments because the more you know.
The more you know.
So I hope you like that little quick episode on fugitives on sailboats because that is crazy to me. So he wasn't on the run, he was on the water. And until next time, stay positive and stay brazen.
Hey, Holly.
Yes, Jilla.
Do you know why chicken coops only have 2 doors?
So one can come in and one can come out?
If they had 4, it would be a chicken sedan.
Okay. If you own a farm, you just realize when you go to your chickens, are they a sedan
Or a coupe.
Or a coupe. But